How's it going, everybody? So it is Jamie here, and I am going to answer some questions on applications and law school and grad school in general. Um, I guess some people are still wondering about letters of intent and personal statements and how to leverage yourself best for those kinds of things. So I figured, why not talk about it? It's a beautiful day here in downtown LA, so why not? Um, so the short of it is that when it comes to personal statements and letters of intent, you really need to make sure that when you're communicating, you are talking about first and foremost, if there's a specific prompt, the ends of the prompt that they're asking you about. You know, if they say a certain struggle that you overcame or a certain life direction that you're going to take, you obviously want to make sure that you're working from an outcome based mentality. You don't want to get caught up in the details of just giving a bunch of little tidbits and discombobulated facts about yourself. You want to create a story that communicates to the reader why it is that you have a purpose and why it is that you're dedicated and driven and goal oriented toward that purpose. So whatever you write about, whatever you decide to write about, you really want to make sure that the body and the meat of what you're saying ties it to kind of the conclusion. You know, if your goal is to work in a certain field, you want to bring in your experiences as to how it relates to that certain field. And of course, especially of note, if you're pulling on the heartstrings part, especially trying to be competitive at an upper level school, the most common theme there is talking about typically either some sort of struggle that you overcame and how you worked through that, or possibly how you really fostered a certain talent or how you really fostered and helped a certain people, based on something that really ties into your heart. And so, it's one of those things, and I've done a number of reviews for applications and resumes. It's one of those things you just really want to take a look at when you put down kind of your planning and your pre-writing. You want to take a look and see, okay, what are the facts and the details about my life that are really important to this, uh, you know, education or even potentially job that I'm trying to get into. And you want to say, okay, how can I make my experiences relate to what it is that you're looking to go into? And then you have to take a look at that again and say, okay, now how does this tie into some sort of a theme? And so, sometimes it might be hard to put those pieces together, but don't be afraid to make those things um, really kind of sound connected. There's nothing wrong with taking, different experiences. Maybe you had something that had to do with veterinary medicine, and then maybe you had something that dealt with, I don't know, photography and event. There's, all sorts of experiences you may have, but the question is, okay, how are you laying out that language so that people see, oh, okay, I see this development of a person. And the closer that you get to showing yourself to be a real person, the closer you get to showing yourself to be someone who's dedicated, diligent, and goal oriented, the better you're going to be in terms of being competitive. Uh, the number one thing that makes applicants look, not very appealing is someone who doesn't have a direction. Even if you're not really sure about what you're going to do with your future, pick a direction to talk about, because those who seem to have a direction, or at least know how to write like they have a direction, tend to be favored because it looks like they're going to stay with the program or stay with a certain job or internship or whatever. And so the key there is, where you're taking your experiences and putting it together in a way that shows a motif developing toward this position or education, that you're tying it together, saying, and this is what I hope to gain out of it. The long-term aspect of saying, okay, here's the direction that I want to go. I want to get this so I can use it for this, or I want to do this because I want to grow my skills in a certain area. And so that's really just the core of it. Getting down to someone's specific details and kind of critiquing those is a whole other thing. But the basic idea there is work through the facts of your life, your experiences, starting to whittle them down into something that looks like you have a goal and a plan and kind of a direction for yourself. And even if you don't, if you're like, I have no idea, you're better off finding something or thinking about something that you would like to be in for a position or like to be in educationally to lead to something else, because those kinds of candidates seem the most attractive. They people who are goal oriented, people who are driven, people who seem like they have kind of a plan, or at least have worked through things to come together with a plan, tend to be favored. So I hope that helps with some of your application stuff. And of course, if you have any questions or any thoughts, feel free to message me, and I'll be here, relax and enjoy. Talk to you later.